morning, my beautiful friends. Welcome to another video. I hope you've all been keeping so very well. I've just made myself a very simple breakfast. It is the summertime here in Australia. It's getting very warm and I feel like my body is craving a lot more fresh food lately, in particular fruit. I don't eat like a lot of fruit, but in particular in summer I tend to eat a lot more of it, especially stone fruit like yellow nectarines, which are like my favorite kinds of fruit. So lately I've been having fruit with my breakfast a lot, and today I've got some yellow nectarines, some blackberries, and then I've just got a piece of avo toast with salt and pepper and lemon on it. Very simple breakfast, but I have been loving quick, simple breakfasts like this lately. And honestly, yellow nectarines are just like, I literally feel like I could just eat 10 of them for breakfast. They are actually just like my favorite fruit in the world, and I wish they were in season all year round, but then I think that would make me appreciate them less than I do. You know what I mean? Today I just wanted to bring you along for a day in my life and show what I'm eating in a day as well. Truth be told, I intended on filming a weekly vlog like a week and a half ago, because it was my 30th birthday a week and a half ago, and I had some time off work and I had friends and family visiting, and yeah, I had every intention of documenting the whole thing, but it became such a busy time. I had so many people staying in my home, and then as well as that, just lots of social events and lots of things to do, and the time just got away from me. And then like a few days after my 30th, I got really sick and then I was in bed for like 5 days, so the vlog just didn't happen, unfortunately. However, I did have a lovely birthday. I turned 30, and on my actual birthday day, it was really chill. My best friend was here and we just spent the day honestly just doing some really chill things, eating some good food, and yeah, it felt really nice. Also had a swim in the ocean, which was great. And yeah, I got to spend time with my family and some of my friends and my boyfriend on my birthday as well, so that was really lovely. And then the next night I had my 30th birthday party where I got to see so many of my loved ones. It was a really fun night. I decided I wanted to have like a themed birthday party, and so I went for an op shop and Depop theme, and I just encourage people to have fun with it and wear things a bit out of their comfort zone, and people got so into it. It was really fun, and I feel like it was a fun way to have like a costume party, but in like, I guess, more of a sustainable way, in terms of like people don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money on a costume, and then as well as that, it's all secondhand clothing, which is really fun. So that was a really fun night, but I think that night honestly knocked me around a bit, and then a couple of days after that is when I started feeling really sick and I was in bed for the rest of the week. So I've kind of been regrouping this week, and I'm really excited to just hang out today and show you what I'm eating and have a little chat about turning 30 as well, because I feel like 30 is one of those birthdays that people put a lot of social pressure on themselves to be doing certain things around that age. And yeah, I basically just thought it would be good to talk about that. I'm going to enjoy my breakfast. And with my breakfast as well at the moment, I'm taking a few things. I've got my Seed Daily Symbiotic, which I take every day. I've been taking it for like a long time now, so you probably know that. But I'm also taking a B12 spray, and in particular I'm taking some iron and vitamin C tablets at the moment. Vitamin C for the absorption of the iron, but as some of you may know, I'm having a surgery in a couple of months on my uterus, and a couple of months ago I had like my yearly blood test to check all of my levels, and my iron had decreased a significant amount, which I believe, and like the doctors believe, could be due to the amount of blood loss that I'm having on my period. But anyway, I kind of need to like rapidly increase my iron before my surgery. So I'm taking iron tablets for the first time since I was like maybe a teenager. Anyway, breakfast is happening, all of those things are happening. And then I'm actually gonna head out of the house. I'm gonna go and meet my friend Megs for a walk and potentially a swim as well. It is summer here. It is very hot in the area that I live in. And yeah, I'm keen to get out and move my body and see one of my closest friends this morning. It's gonna be a very lovely way to start the day. I don't know if there is much better than a kombucha in a wine glass after a swim in the ocean. Like, that is just an iconic combination. That swim in the ocean today was honestly one of the best swims that I have had in so long. The conditions were just like so perfect. It was like there was enough waves coming in that it was fun, but it was also calm enough that like it wasn't like a stressful experience, if that makes sense. And the water was just like a perfect temperature. Honestly, it probably felt that way as well because we went for such a long walk that we were both so hot and so sweaty, and we just like wanted to get into the ocean. But yeah, it was just so lovely and amazing, and a lovely way to start the day. This kombucha is making it even better. It's this limited edition pink grapefruit one, and I actually hadn't had any of this before until my birthday week when someone got some and brought it home, and it was really good, so I decided to get it again today. I'm about to get into making lunch, but first I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Seed for sponsoring today's video. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, then you probably already know that I take Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic every day as a way to support my gut health in particular, but also the health of my skin. I genuinely find the DS-01 to be so supportive for my gut health, and it's something that I love taking, and I love creating like a really good habit around it. Honestly, throughout my life, I haven't been great at remembering to take things in the morning, but with the DS-01, like I genuinely know the way that it supports my health, and I have found myself in such a great habit of taking it in the mornings. I take 2 capsules every single morning, and yeah, I absolutely love it. If you've never heard of the DS-01 before, it is a daily symbiotic, which is a prebiotic and a probiotic in the one capsule. And one of the reasons I also really enjoy supporting Seed is because they have some really good sustainability practices. I'll leave those sustainability practices linked down below if you do want to read about them, and as well as that, I will leave a link to the DS-01 if you want to check it out. I also have a discount code which I will leave on the screen for you, as well as down in the description box, and that gets you 25% off your first month's supply of the DS-01 if you do want to check it out. And yeah, if you do decide to try the DS-01, I hope you love it as much as I do. Anyway, I'm gonna get into making lunch now. If you can't tell, I'm sweating a lot. It is so warm in here. We are in summer here in Australia. I think I've probably already mentioned that, and it's just been really hot in the area that I live. I've definitely been leaning more into fresh food, so I'm gonna make a like sort of fresh kind of lunch. I'm gonna make like a nachos or nacho bowl situation, I think. I also have some pumpkin in the fridge that I really want to use up, so I think I will use some of that. And yeah, I'm gonna drink my kombucha whilst I cook, and it's going to be lovely. Lunch today was absolutely delicious and such a great nourishing feed after a really long walk in the heat and a swim and all of that. It was just divine. I've just been hanging out for a few hours and I'm about to have a snack, and I have seen a lot of comments recently saying how, well, asking if I am still a snacker because I haven't been including them in my what I eat in a week videos, and the answer is yes. I am a snacker and I am often snacking. When it comes to making what I eat in a week videos, in the spirit of transparency, those videos are a lot to make. They're really time consuming, and I also work a couple of other jobs, so sometimes the snacks just get put you know, in the not documented basket basically. But I am snacking, and most of the time it's on chocolate because I'm a chocolate girly, have been my whole entire life. That hasn't changed. And I am gonna snack on one of these like fruit and nut chocolate bar things. I don't even think they're nut. No, it's because they're not. Fruit and crunch because it's a nut-free bar. Anyway, these are really good. You can get them from Woolworths here in Australia. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I recently turned 30, and I feel like there's been like a lot of thoughts and feelings and goals and things that have come up for me in this time, and even like the year leading up to turning 30 and having friends turning 30 and all of that kind of stuff. I've really been doing a lot of thinking about like the social norms that come from the age of 30, and also just the way that like my perspective has changed as I've gotten older. When I was in my early 20s, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and right now at 30, I still don't really know what I'm doing. And I think the difference for me is that in my early 20s, I had a lot of fear and a lot of thoughts that I like really need to figure out what I was doing with my life, whereas now that I'm 30, I'm realizing that I don't need to figure out what I'm doing with my life, because I think that is like a social construct in itself. Because let's be real, does anyone know what they're doing with their life? Literally, as I've said that, I'm like, maybe some people do like have it all together, you know? Like I could be totally, completely wrong with that. I feel like one of the biggest lessons I've learned as I've gotten older, and as I've had friends of different ages as well, especially friends older than me, is that I've realized that like age does absolutely not dictate so many things. And I think that that for me is one of the reasons why I'm going into my 30s with basically just one goal. And that goal is to really, truly love myself and work on my confidence, and basically work on my lack of self-esteem and lack of self-confidence. And I feel like the reason why this is like my sole goal for this decade is because that so many women that I've spoken to about turning 30 have said that once they hit 30, it's just like they felt this confidence kind of come over them in a way, and this lack of fear about being wholeheartedly themselves. And that's something I've definitely struggled with my entire life, is like the desire to fit in and the desire to be liked by everyone, and basically just like wanting to feel confident and loved. For me, the thing, and like I think the next step in my like self-love journey is really tackling these self-esteem and these self-confidence issues that I feel like have been with me my entire life. And I think I mentioned this in an Instagram post, but I can't tell if there's like a placebo effect going on right now, but I am feeling more confident since I turned 30. Still have days, still have moments, but for the most part, feeling a lot better. I'm just gonna keep riding with it and just like see where that goes. But I'm mindful that it could be placebo effect. Regardless, I feel better in that way. So that I feel like that's a good thing. The other thing that has been really on my mind is the social pressures and the ideas of what people, in particular women, should be doing around the age of 30. And when I think about this, and I think about, you know, the major things that people expect of people, or society expects of people, I should say, is like getting married, having children, buying a home, having a career. But I feel like people think that you should have kids or a career, which I feel like is a whole other discussion in itself, but something that I have been really like coming to terms with as I get older is that I don't have much of a desire to have children. Up until this point in my life, I've honestly had so many thoughts going around in my head of like feeling like I don't want to have children, but then having people tell me that as I get older, that maternal instinct is going to kick in. And I think that recently I have been feeling more confident in the idea that I don't desire having children, at least right now, today, in this moment. I don't desire having children because I'm also in a relationship with a wonderful, wonderful man who has the same feelings about having children that I do, which this may be a whole other conversation about like why I personally don't feel like I want to have children. But for me, there's always been a lot of fear about saying that out loud, because I've had so many people say to me in my life that, like I said, that maternal instinct will kick in, that I'll regret it when I get older, that that's what women are supposed to do. And I think there's also a lot of fear that I'll be one of the only one of my friends who doesn't have children, which I think is something that's still pretty present for me and I'm still working through. And I feel like there's also more of a complex discussion to this because, as I've mentioned, I'm having a surgery in a couple of months, and as you may know, in that surgery in a couple of months, I might lose my uterus. So that's like a whole other discussion, and I'm mindful of the fact that that's probably also something that is impacting the way I feel about having children. But that's honestly just how I'm feeling at the moment, and I'm feeling more confident and secure in that feeling the older that I get. And I think I thought, like, turning 30, am I gonna like start to feel all of these things? And honestly, I'm just like not feeling those things. And then besides the children conversation, there's also the conversation around like the pressure to own your own home and have like a super stable career with a clear direction by the age of 30. And I don't have any of those things, and I used to really feel a lot of shame for that. And like I've mentioned, like every now and again I do feel those moments pop up of like, you know, feeling almost like a failure in some ways. That might sound like a really dramatic word, but I definitely do feel those kind of feelings sometimes. And honestly, I think like the older that I get, and like with turning 30, it's really made me consciously realize that like these things that society that wants like people, women to do around the age of 30 are like so just not important to me. And what's important to me is feeling connected to the people that I love, being able to do things that I love, and being able to make as positive of an impact on this planet that I can. And like that might sound like super cliche and super like woohoo, but I think it's been a really beautiful realization for me that like I don't have to do all of these things that like I feel the pressure of. Honestly, like even as I'm saying this, I feel that pressure and I feel that fear of like, am I gonna be 50 and all my friends are gonna have children, and you know, what am I gonna be doing? Like I know what I would be doing in that instance, but like there is this fear of like doing things differently, I guess. Although I do see a lot more people speaking out about choosing to be child-free, and I think that's making me feel really supported as well. Anyway, there have just been many thoughts going through my mind with turning 30, but overall I am really excited for my 30s. I'm really excited for the things that could come from this decade. When I think about the past decade of my life, of my 20s, they were so transformative. Like so much happened. I moved interstate. I went through so much heartache. I started making YouTube videos, ended up making YouTube videos for a living. Like there are so many things that happened. And at the end of the decade, I have, you know, if I reflect on 20-year-old me thinking about, you know, the goals that she had, like I got a lot of those goals done in that decade. And I feel really proud and really excited for the decade to come. And yeah, thank you for being here. I know a lot of you have been here since my early 20s. And that is so wild to me because I feel so different but still so the same. I can't explain it any other way. I know that there are quite a lot of people who watch my channel and my videos who are over the age of 30, and honestly I would love to hear your thoughts on turning 30 and the societal norms and stuff that come with it, because obviously my perspective and opinion is really based on the things that I really value and want, I guess, out of my 30s. But I know there are a lot of different thoughts out there, and yeah, I would just love to hear from you, whether you want to leave a comment and share with everyone else, or if you want to message me on Instagram. I just am enjoying this discussion, and especially this feeling of feeling more confident to even like discuss things like this, because I am feeling this weird confidence at the moment. I don't know where it's come from, but I'm really trying to embrace it. Anyway, it is so boiling. I am sweating so much. I've mentioned that so many times in this video already, I feel, but it's true, I'm sweating. I'm gonna go cool down, get some fresh air, and then I'll catch up with you probably when it's time for us to make some dinner. So I've cooked dinner for my boyfriend and I tonight, which is this kind of like spicy, sticky tofu bowl with pita bread and fresh veg. And this is a recipe I'm kind of like working on at the moment, trying to figure out like what's best to serve it with and how to make the tofu. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible so that it can be like a really quick and easy throw together lunch or dinner. But yeah, this is what we're going to be having for dinner tonight. So it is the toasted pita bread as well as some hummus, some of this tofu, which I saw someone say on Instagram the other day, I think, that like tofu tastes better in triangles, when it's cut into triangles, and I don't know why that's so true, but it just is so true to me. I love cutting my tofu like that and eating it like that. And then I also have some fresh cucumber, cherry tomatoes, red onion, and parsley. I think this would be really good with pickled red onions, but I don't have any on me at the moment. But yeah, that is going to be our dinner tonight. And I think that's gonna bring us to the end of today's video. I'm gonna have a really chill night tonight. I honestly feel like I need it after a super busy week and after being sick and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna very much so embrace a slow evening. As always, thank you so much for being here and supporting me in my channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you have a very beautiful week ahead. I will see you next week in my next video, but until then, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye!